Hola, ¿cómo están? Yo soy Karim Sabat de PowerMetal.cl, el podcast live. Estoy junto a mi gran amigo, compañero de transmisiones, compañero de entrevistas, el gran Cortinas, el gran Francisco Pérez. ¿Cómo estás, Francisco?
Bien, bien aquí, ¿y tú?
Bien, acá esto es el hospital, así que tuve que bloquear algunas cosas, hice todos los movimientos. De hecho, sin huevo, con Francisco estuvimos a punto de suspender la entrevista porque tuve que me llamaban a cirugía de urgencia, que al final no fue. Pero vamos igual con esta transmisión que está en vivo. En este mismo momento tenemos al gran Sozos Michael aquí abajo, el cantante, actual cantante de GLORYHAMMER, que también es Planeswalker, que cantó en Helion Prime. O sea, una verdadera de nuestros pequeños ídolos que están partiendo en el camino a ser los grandes cantantes del Power Metal. Probablemente dentro de 10 años esta entrevista va a ser como un tesoro. Así que, sin más, recuerden que Francisco va a estar haciendo las preguntas en inglés, yo voy a estar traduciendo, y no se olviden que nos pueden apoyar siempre a través de patreon.com, powermetal.cl o YouTube Membership. Y sin más, porque tenemos una hora para estar conversando con Sozos Michael, que no le está entendiendo nada, vamos, agregamos la transmisión, agregar y hacer el ajuste. Dale. Ahora sí.
There we go. Okay, so
hello.
Hello.
Yeah,
Hello.
I'm great. Great to be here. And yeah, how are you guys?
I'm doing great.
Running in the hospital. Ok, así que vamos nomás, Francisco, empieza con las preguntas. Yo tengo la gente acá.
Okay, so Sozos, we wanted to talk a bit about GLORYHAMMER and the new album. So how was your arrival to GLORYHAMMER? How did it all happen?
Oh, okay. So the way it happened is I had some people that worked with me for other projects, like the producer of Helion Prime's second album, and also one of the members on Eons Enthroned, that were working with Chris in different capacities. One of them was the producer of also GLORYHAMMER, and the other one was part of a project that Chris is in. And both of them, when the vacancy for the vocalist position in GLORYHAMMER appeared, both of them suggested that I join the band because they had worked with me and they had good things to say about working with me, which I'm very grateful to both of them, because I don't think that it would have happened without their combined efforts. But essentially what happened is Chris considered the people that he had access to, Chris Bowes, the vocalist of Ailstorm, the creator of GLORYHAMMER, and then contacted me through Facebook, asking me if I wanted to tour with them in their, at that point, a UK 2021 tour. And I saw that as like a trial phase where I could, try being the vocalist of GLORYHAMMER, and if it worked for me, I would continue. If it didn't, I would, I would not. So I said yes, and I had to learn the songs in like quite a short time for the set list that we had to play. But yes, the tour happened. It was a big success. People were very welcoming, and yeah, I decided that that's exactly what I want to be doing, like for the next at least few years. Because I've always been a big fan of power metal, and also like I'm a big fan of singing. So this was a match made in heaven.
Karim, estás muteado. Karim, you're muted.
Ahora sí, es que tenía apagado el micrófono. I turn off the mic to listen to you. So, le preguntamos directamente al gran Sozos Michael cómo se dio su llegada al GLORYHAMMER, llegada que fue el año pasado, y él nos cuenta que Leigh Slammert, que es el productor de Helion Prime, del disco en el que participa él, Terror of the Cybernetic Monster, algo así era el nombre, es el productor también de GLORYHAMMER. Él, con todo lo que pasó con GLORYHAMMER, tema que no entraremos, decide contactarlo porque Leigh Slammert entiende que hay algo en la voz de Sozos Michael que podría calzar perfectamente en el espacio que había dejado anteriormente el anterior cantante de GLORYHAMMER. Le ofrece el puesto, graban este Fly Away, que fue el primer single, un single que se lanzó, funciona para él, funciona para la banda, y deciden además partir en vivo. Y esto es interesante, ahí le vamos a estar preguntando cómo fue partir en vivo y no con un disco. Esto funcionó tanto para él, que él es un fanático del power metal y un fanático del canto. Entonces, se sintió en una prueba que claramente de Helion Prime y Planeswalker, este es un salto en importancia, todos lo tenemos claro, GLORYHAMMER es una de las grandes fuerzas del power metal actual. Así que eso, dale Francisco.
Okay, so how was it like starting with like singing live and not with an album? Was it, it was different, or how did you feel about it?
That's a very, very interesting question, because that was the thing that none of us, including myself, knew how it was going to go. Like I had been a live vocalist for quite some time at the time when I was hired by GLORYHAMMER, but I did not in the space of metal music. I was mostly I had like a cover band that we played rock songs with. I knew like my limitations, and I knew what I could do in that space. And like a very limited amount of actual power metal band live singing experience. So GLORYHAMMER were very kindly willing, and I did offer to pay for some vocal coaching lessons that all had to had the aim of helping me with going on tour and singing day after day, like an hour-long set list. And yeah, those lessons were like incredibly useful. With Arnaud Menard, he's an incredible vocal coach from France, and essentially what that made clear for me is, because I had been singing for like a decade at that point, I had the basics down. Like I knew how like my body worked, like, and I knew I could trust it. And the only variable that I hadn't tested was doing that day after day after day in a tour setting. And that's what like Arnaud helped me with. And because he showed me exercises that you can do before and after, what kind of diet you should follow, when you should eat, when you should not eat, and how to rest your voice in between gigs. So that was invaluable, and I'm super grateful to him to this day. And I like urge anyone that's thinking about doing more intensive things with their voice to like talk to a vocal coach and see what like your voice should be doing at any point, because it might make the difference between making or not making it through a set. So that's very important.
Karim, estás muteado de nuevo. Karim, sigues muteado.
Ahora sí, tema esto de trabajar en hospital, sí, ese es el problema, pero bueno, ya sabemos que Sozos Michael debutó en vivo, si bien hizo el single, se lanzó al tiro con una gira, y le preguntamos por esto, porque generalmente los integrantes de las bandas tienen tiempo para ver sus canciones, todo, y dice que la banda fue súper, GLORYHAMMER se portó súper bien con él, que decidió contratarle un vocal coach francés, cuyo nombre no recuerdo, para que lo ayudara con el canto, porque no es lo mismo, sobre todo él que no venía a ser un cantante más de estudio que en vivo, a pasar a ser un cantante completamente en vivo y que además tuviera que cantar en muchos días seguidos. Eso fue una gran preparación que tuvo en ayuda del vocal coach, que le permitió y que claramente le sirvió mucho y que hoy en día está aprovechando caleta, y que claramente eso le llevó a lo que logró hacer en el nuevo disco de GLORYHAMMER. Antes de seguir, vamos con unos saludos rápidamente. Nicolás Goodrich, buenas reviews. 1292, buenas. Alejandro Serrano, hola muchachos. Alejandro Serrano, saludos. Y Adolfo Salinas, hello there. Ya, ahora sí, dale.
Okay, so are you happy with the reception of the new album with you as the singer?
Yes, I'm very happy about it. I think we've worked very hard on it, and it's really paid off, because we didn't want this to be, obviously it's a different vocalist, so it's going to sound different, but we didn't want this to be exactly the same GLORYHAMMER, but with a different vocalist. We wanted to have the music actually be part of like my voice and the music, like going together in a more harmonious way. So we had like some things that we introduced in this album, like additional vocal harmonies, were stuff that wasn't present before in the previous albums, because vocal harmonies is like a thing that I'm a big fan of, and I really like introducing in my compositions. So in the little bits of songwriting that I actually was able to contribute, those things were were introduced, and yeah, the response from the people were like very, very positive. And I in particular, what I really enjoyed is that there was no song that was overwhelmingly everyone's favorite. There's the big song "Keeper of the Celestial Flame" that people immediately latched onto just because of how catchy and like relentless it is. But everyone found a different favorite song in the album. Like there was no song that was like, oh, this is the lesser song of the album. There was something for everyone, and that I think that was because there's so much variety in the musical styles that are presented in the album. So yes, that we had like great reception. Couldn't be happier with it.
Ahora sí no me equivoqué, le preguntamos directamente que cómo es el tema de la recepción, o sea, cómo ve que ha sido la recepción del nuevo álbum, el primer álbum donde él participa de GLORYHAMMER, y dice que sí, que le gustó mucho, que hay una cosa que uno puede notar y que probablemente solo escuchando los discos no se da cuenta, que es dónde influyó Sozos Michael en GLORYHAMMER, y esa es la armonización de las voces, algo que no tenía o que no está tan claro en los discos anteriores de GLORYHAMMER, y algo de lo que él es muy fanático. O sea, a él le gusta la armonización vocales y eso se nota mucho en la forma que él canta. Además, ¿qué otra cosa le gusta? Que la gente encontró todos una canción favorita, que él siente que no hay ninguna canción que es la débil, sino que a él, por ejemplo, dice que una de las canciones que ha aprendido es Keeper of the Celestial Flame, que es la canción más épica del disco, pero que todo el mundo ha dicho, no, a mí me gusta la primera, a mí me gusta, o sea, no, la segunda, porque el primero es la intro, a mí me gusta esta otra, pero en el fondo hay un poco de todo y para todos los gustos, de un disco muy, muy, muy entretenido. Eso, dale, Francisco.
Okay, so the changing singers on a band is often very controversial because as you said, it's a different voice and everything. How was it for you, like getting into GLORYHAMMER, and were you nervous or was it easy? Did you manage to play sing the songs easily, or how was it?
I was quite nervous before the first show happened, and I think the peak of my nervousness was like 5 minutes before the first show. At that point, nobody knew who I was. Yeah, they like GLORYHAMMER had this whole thing where they didn't explain who the new vocalist is. There was like some sneak peek, and there's like my outline, but not my actual face. So nobody knew who I was until I walked on stage. And that was nerve-wracking for me. But like immediately, as soon as I walked on stage, and then I went like this, and then everyone started, go like, there was, since that moment in time, I never felt like nervous to go on stage, because I realized that a concert is a very, very positive space in terms of like attitude and thinking. Like everyone is really happy to be there, and everyone is looking forward to the show. So there's no like tomatoes thrown at you, or like there's no negativity. Any negativity that there might be, it's for people that had made up their minds beforehand. So it's nothing that you can do to help. But overwhelmingly, there's been like a very positive reception. In terms of the songs, I wasn't a huge fan of GLORYHAMMER before they switched their vocalist, and the impression that I got from their songs was always, oh, this sounds impossible to sing. Like I do not envy the vocalist, but I think a big part of that was due to me not having tried, and also like my voice is naturally higher than the previous vocalists. So for me, it wasn't nearly as challenging as I thought it would have been before I tried it. So yeah, I had to obviously, because of everyone's voices being different, I had to make some adjustments to fit my voice. I added some melismata, which is like some decorations at the end of phrases, because I really like doing that. But then the vocals in previous GLORYHAMMER songs were more like, this is the note that we hit, then we go to this note. But I'm more of a Tommy Karavik fan, which goes like, he does all those like nice like little decorative things in their vocals. But other than that, like I didn't find them particularly like challenging. Obviously, it's power metal; they are challenging, but they weren't the extreme difficulty curve that I would have expected.
Bueno, ahora sí la pregunta fue ya sobre, bueno, todos sabemos que antes había un cantante importante que tuvo una salida bien compleja y eso obviamente, la pregunta es si eso le afectó, saber todo lo que había pasado y saber que tenía que reemplazar a alguien que más encima era bastante conocido en una banda que como GLORYHAMMER, que ya agarró cierta importancia, y dice que en verdad sí tenía nervios, sobre todo porque hasta antes de pararse a cantar en vivo nadie lo conocía y nadie sabía que existía. Entonces, hasta 5 minutos antes de cantar en vivo tuvo nervios, pero una vez que se levantó y se plantó en el escenario, se acabaron los nervios y empezó ya a darle su propio estilo a la música. Dentro de eso es importante que él siente que el cantante anterior no era o sea, todo el power metal es difícil de cantar, pero no era un cantante que cuando él se enfrentó a las canciones le parecieran realmente difíciles en tonos, pero él quiso agregarle su extra y tratar de modificar la forma de cantar, hacer su juego vocal, su armonía, todo, para darle a las canciones antiguas su propio sabor, el sabor de Sozos Michael al GLORYHAMMER antiguo y tratar de no ser un clon de lo que se hacía anteriormente. Y eso ha ido dando, además, que cada vez le es más fácil, cada vez más entretenido y cada vez se siente con más facilidad de hacer esto. Y quería preguntarles si le pueden agregar a la parte actoral, porque una cosa es en GLORYHAMMER es ser el cantante y cantar, y otra cosa es el frontman, que el frontman de GLORYHAMMER es un actor. Si esto le complicó o nunca tuvo mayor problema.
Okay, so another part to this question is being the singer of GLORYHAMMER is not only being the singer, but also being almost an actor on stage. How was that for you? Was it difficult to like perform as an actor?
Get the hammer and fight with the goblins.
Was it hard, or did you get used to it pretty quickly?
So this was the biggest challenge for me. I think I had no acting experience like throughout my life, and everyone knew beforehand that like I had the singing ability to perform with GLORYHAMMER. That was never a concern. Essentially, what it came down to was how well could I play the role of Angus MacFife, because the previous vocalist was iconic as Angus MacFife until the point where he wasn't. So there was a lot of anticipation of who could step up to be this character. And I know that a lot of people were not convinced because obviously we look different. And the approach that we have to the character is also quite different, I would say. It's essentially like a different interpretation of the character rather than the same exact character by a different actor. And I think that the people that were open to be convinced and accept this new like version of the character were very quick to do so. And I think that the people that were not convinced, like they essentially waited until the album or like until a Flyaway came out to see what they thought. And for like, certainly for me, it was a work in progress to get into the role of Angus MacFife, because I'm not usually like in day-to-day life, I'm not acting like Angus MacFife. Like I'm generally a shy person that keeps to themselves. So I had to put a very different energy to my performance. I had to essentially pretend to be someone else acting. And I think I got it eventually, but it did took a few tours with GLORYHAMMER for me to go, oh, actually, this is what it is to be Angus MacFife. and so it became very easy for me to switch from one to the other. But yeah, the important thing for me though is I didn't want to lose sight of who I actually was, which is like Sozos Michael, vocalist, because Angus McFive is only part of what GLORYHAMMER is. It's not GLORYHAMMER itself. Like it's just a character, and the important part is, as always, like the music. So that's what I never wanted to lose sight of when I'm trying to become Angus McFive. So I think it overall worked fairly well, and people seem to have accepted that, you know, this is the new version of Angus McFive, and that's fine.
Le preguntamos, ya sabemos sobre el tema, la música, y ahora sobre la actuación. Si le costó, y al parecer, por lo que nos da a entender, le costó más adaptarse al personaje de Angus McFive que a la música de GLORYHAMMER. Claro, nos deja claro que GLORYHAMMER no es Angus McFive y Angus McFive es solo un personaje de GLORYHAMMER, pero que así como al principio esto nunca se había enfrentado a la actuación, tuvo que hacer unas transformaciones porque además él no quería ser el Angus McFive antiguo y no es lo que quería la banda, según entendemos. O sea, él tenía que reinterpretar el personaje siendo este es Sozos Michael y es Angus McFive interpretado por Sozos Michael. Entonces, él empezó a ponerle de lo suyo, a buscar, tratar de no copiar lo que se había hecho antes, tratar de reinventar el personaje de una manera que él se sintiera cómodo y que no se sintiera forzado. Así como mismo nos dijo que las canciones también las reinterpretó de manera que fueran para él la actual. Claramente al principio le costó un poco más, y lleva 2 giras ya con GLORYHAMMER, pero actualmente puede decir que él ya es Angus McFive y que este Angus McFive, esta interpretación del personaje ya está. A la gente también le complicó un poco porque no era lo mismo, pero después del disco, después de la gira ya empezó a soltarse, la gente empezó a entender que él es el cantante de GLORYHAMMER y nadie más, y este es Angus McFive y está todo, como están viendo, que ver los conciertos en vivo, y claramente hay una evolución en este tiempo que ha estado como cantante.
Claro, y nos dice también que la gente que vio este cambio y estaba dispuesta a aceptarlo, lo aceptó muy rápido. Pero hay gente que, claro, se demoró más, que tuvo que esperar a que saliera el single o que saliera el disco para empezar a aceptar ese cambio.
Voy con unos saludos rápidamente. Paula Turunen, buenos días. Ángela Baroa, saludos muchachos. Estoy con el micrófono apagado.
¿No?
¿No? Ya, excelente. Carlos Sepúlveda, saludos Michael y a todos ustedes. Jaime González se conecta y está mandando saludos. Y bueno, eso. Dale, Francisco.
Okay, so do you have a favorite GLORYHAMMER song to sing? From the new album or the last two albums?
So just from the reaction of a live audience, Keeper of the Celestial Flame is up there. It's a really fun song to sing because it's not this really high vocals the whole time. It's very catchy and people fist pump like a lot of the time during it. So that's my favorite one to sing. Although we've tried Sword Lord of the Goblin Horde, which is the other one that I really like from the album personally. And just because that song is both very catchy and has some like really like high vocals at the end where I get to like show off a bit. That's also one of my my favorites.
And from the past albums, do you have like a favorite track?
I would say from the past albums, I really like the song GLORYHAMMER, like just, you know, because of all the hammer stuff that's going on in it. And I think I'm in terms of being a fan of GLORYHAMMER, I'm a pretty like average fan because I like Angus McFive from the first album, Rise of the Chaos Wizards from the second album, and GLORYHAMMER from the third album, which like is all like very typical like big fan favorites. So these are the songs that I really like singing. Like they're all very good songs, but in terms of like interaction with the audience and you know, making them like join you in singing the chorus, these are the songs: Angus McFive, Rise of the Chaos Wizards, GLORYHAMMER, Keeper of the Celestial Flame.
Perfect. Karim, estás muteado.
Ahí sí. Nos respondió sobre las, como estoy a 2 computadores, me equivoco el micrófono, pero básicamente le preguntamos directamente cuáles son las canciones que más les gusta cantar de GLORYHAMMER. Keeper of the Celestial Flame, de las canciones que él ha participado como de disco, pero además le preguntamos cuáles son sus canciones favoritas de GLORYHAMMER antiguo. Se declara un fan de lo que hacía GLORYHAMMER. Dice que Angus McFly del primer disco, Rise of the Chaos Wizards, y GLORYHAMMER del tercero. Esas son sus canciones favoritas para cantar en vivo. Además, porque son canciones que tienen mucha interacción con el público y no tan. Pero dice que en general todas las canciones de GLORYHAMMER son buenas, pero en particular estas porque funcionan muy bien en vivo. Eso.
Okay, so do you have like any other musical talents that you'd like to explore with GLORYHAMMER at some point?
So I'm really sorry, 1 second. Sorry. So I'm really a big fan of like songwriting in general. I'm not particularly good in any like instruments. Like I play guitar, I play the keyboards, play the bass. But like it's not in a like a degree where it would be a virtuosic instrument. And everyone in GLORYHAMMER already does what I do much better at their instrument. But I would really like to explore like different ways to sing in GLORYHAMMER, because GLORYHAMMER is a power metal band. There's kind of a specific style expected by that kind of genre, and I know that there are things that I can do with my voice that might be stepping a bit out of the comfort zone of the genre. So that's what I would like to explore, like different kinds of modulations in your voice, different style of high vocals. There you can add grit, you can keep it clean, you can go with something in between, you can even do harsh vocals in some cases. All of these things are things that I would like to try in the future. And I'm very thankful that GLORYHAMMER is both very receptive to it, and also the next albums look like they're going to branch out from this standard fantasy metal genre, and they're going other places. So there's going to be lots of chances to do that.
Francisco le preguntó si además de ser el cantante tiene algunas otras habilidades o gustos musicales, que explora algún instrumento, todo. Dice que básicamente él no tiene mayor trabajo en instrumentos, así que no graba eso, pero sí se dedica a escribir canciones. Pero lo que más le gusta es experimentar con la voz, que si bien en GLORYHAMMER y en sus anteriores proyectos ha sido como muy canónico en el power metal y básicamente ha estudiado lo que es las armonizaciones vocales, él tiene otras ideas, por ejemplo, intentar harsh vocals como death metal melódico, o sea, distintos tipos de voces que le interesa probarlos, y que a la vez la gracia es que GLORYHAMMER ya le habría dado la explicación, la respuesta de que él tiene derecho a experimentar con GLORYHAMMER, y GLORYHAMMER le permite dar su espacio para que él busque otras formas de cantar que aprovechen sus habilidades vocales y que además lo exijan y hagan su instrumento personal aprovecharlo. No sé si algo más, Francisco.
No, creo que eso. Okay, so what's lurking in the future for you and GLORYHAMMER? Are there any tour plans or a new album?
So we are touring Australia in November, which I'm very much looking forward to. I've never been to Australia. We are also playing Full Metal Cruise this September, which will be fun. There will be a big European tour with Beast in Black this January. And of course, we have plans for more tours along the way to support the new album. In between all of those, like all of the shows, we are trying to write new material to have an album at some point. We're in fairly early stages still, but the general outline and general direction of the band is fairly clear, and I'm very, very excited to share it with everyone once we're done, because it's very GLORYHAMMER. Like, it's not anything that we've done before in terms of setting, but it's still very much in the spirit of the band.
Dale un poco, en el fondo, le preguntó Francisco del tema de de qué se viene para GLORYHAMMER en el futuro. Nos cuenta que va a estar en el Full Metal Cruise ahora en septiembre, que van a estar girando por Australia el próximo año. Y en la otra parte del proyecto me la perdí un poco. Dale, Francisco.
Bueno, claro, van a estar haciendo un tour para Australia, luego tienen un tour con Beast in Black en Europa, ahora en enero. Y mientras tanto van escribiendo así como les gusta ir escribiendo así como canciones entre tours y cosas así. Y la cosa es que ya tienen más o menos así como un poco la línea armada para dónde quieren que vaya GLORYHAMMER, pero todavía es así como el boceto. O sea, todavía falta para que nos puedan mostrar qué es lo que se viene.
Movemos.
And is there a chance of a South American tour at some point or something like that?
We're definitely open to a plan to tour South America, but unfortunately, I cannot reveal any future plans on this podcast. Yeah, I'm really sorry, but we know that we have fans there, and we wish we could have been there already. But we are working towards it. Our goal is to tour wherever there's fans. And unfortunately, just due to the location of where we are, the easiest places to tour is, the EU, or like in general Europe, and to a lesser extent the US. South America is a bit trickier, and there needs to be like a bit more of a organization, and yeah, there's a bit more paperwork to it. But we are working towards it, and like personally, I really want to visit and see everyone that I know there. There's such a big Parliament community, and I know so many people that that like I've been friends with even before GLORYHAMMER that I'd like to meet. So yeah, it's definitely happening. But yes, unfortunately, I cannot speak of any plans at the moment.
Bueno, claramente la pregunta después de hablar de todas las giras que tiene GLORYHAMMER en este momento es si hay alguna posibilidad de una gira por Sudamérica. Y si por ahora no tienen nada planeado, que lamentablemente es complejo girar, organizar una gira por Sudamérica, más que nada por temas de distintos países, visas de trabajo, todo. Es mucho más fácil girar en Europa, es mucho más fácil girar en Estados Unidos, pero que obviamente a él le encantaría venir a Sudamérica porque tiene muchos amigos, tiene muchas personas por conocer y sabe que GLORYHAMMER tiene una gran base de fanáticos locales que estarían contentísimos de estar viéndolo dentro de los que nos contamos nosotros dos. Oye, preguntémosle un poco, dale con las preguntas sobre sus otros proyectos, porque Sozos Michael no es solo GLORYHAMMER, fue Helion Prime, es Planeswalker. ¿Qué pasa con todo eso?
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about your other projects, like for example, Planeswalker. What's going on with that? Are there any plans for a US tour or something? What's going on there?
I wish that was I wish that was as easy as it is with GLORYHAMMER to tour the US. But yeah, Planeswalker is very much in progress. Like the second album, we are working with Jason Ashcraft, who is the other half of Planeswalker, to write the material. I don't see a tour happening, but I know that we have friends in Canada, which is a very, very easy place to like join together and play. That's how it happened the last two times I've played with Jason. So there might be something happening in Canada in terms of like live music with Planeswalker. But unfortunately, the nature of being a small band, especially like an online band, is that you can't really tour without a substantial amount of capital upfront. But that said, Planeswalker is I always see it as like my baby. So like it's music that in a vacuum I would write myself. Like it's different to GLORYHAMMER. GLORYHAMMER is music that I would definitely listen to, but a lot of the things that they write I wouldn't like know even how to write. Planeswalker is whatever influences I have accumulated over my life through power metal and through other genres of music. That's my output. So I'll always have a special place for Planeswalker, and the music that I write it goes either to GLORYHAMMER if it's that style of music, or it goes into the big vein of Planeswalker ideas with the aim to, make a second album down the line.
Sozos Michael no es solo GLORYHAMMER. Para los que lo conocemos de antes, cantó en Helion Prime y actualmente su proyecto de principios de este año, si no me equivoco, Planeswalker, junto a Jason Ashcraft de Helion Prime. Lanzó su primer disco, un disco que personalmente le gustó mucho y entiendo que al gran Javier Francisco Pérez también le encantó. Nos cuenta, le preguntamos por estos proyectos, si existen, si no existen, si con GLORYHAMMER terminaron de desaparecer. Dice que no, que es su bebé, que de hecho es donde él siente como más cariño porque está su forma de escribir. Declara que le sería muy difícil escribir una canción de GLORYHAMMER porque no sabe cómo estructurarla. No así una canción de Planeswalker que es mucho más natural para él. Está en proyecto el segundo disco y le queremos preguntar mucho más personal. Le queremos preguntar también cuándo saldría este segundo disco, entendiendo que el primero nos encantó. Y bueno, la posibilidad de girar con Planeswalker es más difícil con GLORYHAMMER, que tienen algo planificado para Canadá, porque es más fácil armarlo, porque tienen muchos amigos. Parece que en términos de tocar es llegar y hacerlo, pero así como plantear como que Planeswalker llegue a girar por distintos países es casi imposible.
Claro. So about the new Planeswalker album, how much have you guys written with Jason, or are there any like tentative dates for our release, or you're just writing stuff for now?
So we're still writing stuff. We are trying to finish the writing of the album by the end of this year, and then have something like out by mid 2024. But of course, it all depends on how fast we are with writing. What happened with the previous album was because Jason was very, very busy with other projects. I ended up writing the album myself, and that took quite a long time. But this time, Jason has put a lot of resources and time into the Planeswalker. So it means that we can write twice as fast. And if the album is maybe as long or maybe a bit longer as the previous album, it means that we'll be done quite in quite a short time. So yes, we are still very early in development. I am compiling ideas to make the songs themselves, but this is the actual time-consuming part, the way I see it, because you can make a song in an afternoon if you have the individual parts and you get an inspiration of how they should be connected. So this is the actual work that needs to be done first before we go forward.
Bueno, y sobre Planeswalker queríamos saber un poco del qué se viene, que cuándo va a salir el nuevo disco. Dice que cuando se grabó el primer disco, Jason Ashcraft, en la otra mitad del proyecto, estaba con demasiados otros proyectos y eso hizo que fuera muy lento la composición. Actualmente Jason tiene mucho más tiempo, así que está dedicado casi con mucha dedicación, tiene en el nuevo disco Planeswalker, por tanto cree que esto va a ser mucho más rápido. Que obviamente hay temas de grabar las canciones, porque si de repente una canción se le viene en una noche, se le ocurre todo, pero que probablemente va a salir más, no va a haber tanto tiempo de espera y que va a ser probablemente más largo, porque como es más rápido de componerse, más rápido de grabarse, esto debería estar próximamente, o sea, no ahora mismo, pero debería ya estar bastante avanzado.
Claro, igual todavía está como en la etapa inicial el disco. Pero ya para mediados de 2024 piensan así como ya empezar a sacar un poco de material.
Oye, vamos con algunos saludos rápidamente. Alexia Michael y Kipros Michael están ahí conectados mandando saludos, que son al parecer la familia de Sozos Michael. Fayán Valdés, nuestro amigo de Catalepsi, está conectado. Mapache Broden manda saludos. Y bueno, más adelante, y Pablo González desde Lima, que también está conectado desde Perú. Y en unos minutos iremos con las preguntas de la gente, tranquilo. Dale, Francisco.
Ok. ¿Qué pasó? Karim, está muteado, parece que se desconectó.
Sí, se cayó, parece Sozos Michael. Vamos a esperar unos minutos A ver si logramos recuperarlos. Mientras tanto, les contamos que estamos hablando en vivo con Sozos Michael. Ahí está reconectándose. Área de transmisión.
There we go.
Sorry, yeah, I don't know what happened. The camera stopped working.
Don't worry, don't worry. Okay, so do you have like any other projects that you would like to tell us about?
Oh, well, of course, Eons Enthroned is one of the other projects that I'm part of. We released an album, I believe it was July 2021, called Into the Arcane, in which I was the primary vocalist with one other person. And I am less involved in songwriting with that band because it's been really busy with GLORYHAMMER and Planeswalker. But I will be part of their next album, which I'm really excited about. And these are all the projects that I'm pretty much involved with. I do some music of my own, like on the side, but it's nothing that I would release. It's mostly like improvisation. I think that's all that I am have time to do at this point, because it does take quite a lot of time to tour the Europe or the US, and then also be writing material for like different projects. But of course, you never know. Like there's a lot of people that have brilliant ideas that we could work together. I regularly feature in other people's videos as like a vocalist, so that's always something that's going on.
Bueno, a más de GLORYHAMMER y de Planeswalker, le preguntamos si existe otro proyecto. Bueno, él participa en Harmonize y también en Eons Enthroned, que dice que están trabajando ya en el nuevo disco de Eons Enthroned, donde él no está tan partícipe de armar el disco, de componer, él más es solo un cantante, pero que dice que se viene y que está bastante motivado con ese disco. Además, constantemente está grabando, está haciendo algunas canciones para él, y que no sabe qué puede traer el futuro, que de hecho él constantemente está grabando canciones, videos para distintas invitaciones, así que ya sabes, Francisco, que lo puedes contactarlo después directamente para tu trabajo personal. Creo que eso, y algo más, Francisco, y si no vamos con preguntas a la gente.
Vamos con las preguntas de la gente.
Ya, explícale que vamos con preguntas a la gente.
Oh, we're going with some questions from the people watching the interview, okay?
Mm-hmm. Of course.
Okay, Nicholas Goodrich, pregunta qué se siente venir de Chipre y hacer conocido Chipre como parte en el mundo del metal.
I would say that not many people know that I'm from Cyprus, so I don't know if it has made a big difference in the sense that it's put Cyprus on the map. I'm certainly very proud to be part of such a big project, while coming from a place that is so small in the sense of in the circles of power metal, and I am very grateful. I'm also I really like the fact that the other up and coming band, Beast in Black, that's really blowing up, and we're touring with them in January. Their vocalist is Greek, so I'm from the south of Cyprus. I also speak Greek, so it's two massive projects in which both singers speak Greek. So it's really a cool coincidence. But yeah, if people, I think when people look at my name, they don't really think that I'm from Cyprus, because Michael is could be anything. But it's nice when it does get recognized, especially by Cypriots. So because even the vocalist in Beast in Black, who is Greek, did not actually think that I spoke Greek. So it's nice to be recognized, and for the nationality that you are.
Bueno, para los que no lo saben, Sozos Michael es de Chipre. Entonces, la pregunta de Nicolás Goodrich era qué se sentía ser de Chipre y hacer conocido un país del cual no tenemos mucha información, ni siquiera como país, pero menos en el metal, que se siente hacer conocido un país. Y ese primero me sorprende que haya gente que sepa que es de Chipre, porque por su nombre, Sozos Michael, nadie pensaría que es de Chipre. Que incluso con Beast in Black, donde está el cantante Giannis Papadopoulos, que es cerca de Chipre, es griego, pero están cerca y que por eso él de hecho habla griego, pero que se siente feliz, que siente que hay un reconocimiento del país hacia él y desde la gente de Chipre hacia él por ser cantante de metal. No sé si algo más que...
Claro, no, básicamente eso.
Ok. Adolfo Salinas pregunta si él tiene permiso para componer canciones de Glory Hammer.
Are you allowed to?
Yeah, of course. I am in fact encouraged. I've written like the chorus of the song Imperium Dandaxia and quite a few parts here and there in the album that we just released. So it's a collaborative effort. So whoever wants to write can write. And because there's a lot of I have a lot of ideas, I truly think that the next album is going to be there's going to be a lot of parts that I will have written. And this is one of the things that I enjoy a lot about GLORYHAMMER, because it's not this monolith that can never change. It's 5 people that write music together, and usually the craziest idea wins. So I'm very excited to write stuff for GLORYHAMMER.
Bueno, le preguntamos, o sea, Adolfo Salinas pregunta si él puede componer canciones de GLORYHAMMER, y dice que sí, que hay partes como el coro de Imperium of Dandaxia y que es compuesto directamente por él. O sea, hay algunas partes del disco actual que fueron totalmente de Sozos Michael, y que cree que el próximo disco va a tener más partes, porque al final GLORYHAMMER es más un proyecto comunitario. O sea, en el fondo, claro, hay un compositor principal, pero que acepta ingresos de todos los integrantes, y eso hace que sea mucho más activo, y donde él sí ha podido ser parte tanto del disco que se lanzó como de lo que se viene con GLORYHAMMER.
Claro, al final el que quiere componer tiene permitido componer.
Y tenemos preguntas de Hernán Borges. Hernán is part of the Power Metal.cl podcast. He's living in Leicester, and él está preguntando, él sabe que juega, que si Tales of Dominaria, el disco de Planeswalker, está inspirado en Magic the Gathering. Entonces, si juega Magic, si juega competitivo, si de dónde viene la inspiración, y porque él es un fanático de Magic, él jugaba Magic. Hernán Borges plays Magic in the...
So I had not played the game at all before the album. I had some sessions where Jason showed me how to play, but essentially the project started with Jason being a huge Magic fan and me being a huge fan of working with Jason. So we decided, okay, let's make something together. Magic the Gathering has massive amounts of lore and books, and he has a wiki. It has a lot of things because it has a very long history. So to write the album, what I did was I went and read. I went and did research without having played the game. The lore itself is very, very interesting, and I encourage people that are even remotely interested in the game to give it a look. But yes, that's how I got into writing for Planeswalker. It's Jason's idea. Big fan of Magic the Gathering, and also he plays both competitively and not competitively. I don't really play. I have cards, but I don't have any experience. I don't also have I don't have a lot of time to play Magic the Gathering, frankly. So what's happening for the next album, which is fortunate for people that are fans of the old Magic the Gathering, is we are going to be, in general, with Planeswalker, focusing on big parts of history of Magic the Gathering that are self-contained. When there's a card set released, and the whole card set is focused around one big event and one story that affected the whole world. That's what we're trying to do with every album. So the next album is going to be a story from the 80s, if I'm not mistaken, or of the 90s maybe, that happened in Magic the Gathering, it was very important, like lore-wise, and it affected all the planeswalkers after that point. And yeah, we're essentially, I am like doing research at the moment. I'm reading about it, and we're going to write music about those events. So I think it's going to be great because there's so much there that's like, it's very imaginative. It's very good fantasy. And yeah, I think it's going to be great.
Bueno, Planeswalker es un disco inspirado en, o sea, una banda inspirada en Magic the Gathering. Y la pregunta de Hernán era directamente sobre ese tema, porque en el fondo quería saber si Sozos conocía Magic, jugaba Magic, todo eso. Sozos nos aclara que él no es jugador de Magic, tiene unas cartas por ahí. Y Jason Ashcraft, el otro integrante de Planeswalker, es el fanático, que de hecho en algunas sesiones intentó enseñarle todo y aprendió algo, pero que nunca se ha dedicado mucho, más que nada porque tampoco tiene mucho tiempo entre lo que hace con GLORYHAMMER y todo lo demás, y el viajar, tour, todo eso. De todas formas, nos adelanta que el próximo disco de Planeswalker seguirá estando inspirado en Magic, en las historias clásicas, en una historia que fue importante, porque para los fanáticos de Magic, muy fanáticos, saben que Magic no es solo cartas, sino que hay toda una construcción de libros, hay toda una historia. Una tremenda historia que partió en los años 80 y que ha seguido componiéndose. Y que este disco estaría inspirado en una historia clásica de Magic, que al parecer van a relanzar ahora próximamente. Entonces van a aprovechar todo ese mundo del relanzamiento de la historia, tanto en cartas como el ser una historia más clásica de Magic, que obviamente cambió el mundo de Magic, porque, de nuevo, la gracia de la historia de Magic es que lo que se plantea en la historia afecta al juego finalmente en la forma que se juega que se va jugando. Oye, tenemos una pregunta, ahí lo traduces al ¿cómo se llama en inglés? Jaime Contreras, quien también es de parte de Power Metal CL, aparte de Power Metal que inspira a GLORYHAMMER y Planeswalker, ¿tienes algún otro estilo de música que te guste alejado del Power Metal?
Okay, so apart from Power Metal, which is the inspiration for GLORYHAMMER and Planeswalker, is there like any other style, like as a fan or as a musician that you like apart from Power Metal?
So obviously I'm a fan of adjacent genres like symphonic metal, progressive metal, and I guess what I would like the genres that I listen to that are not like in this space would be I listen to a lot of classical music because I do think a lot of compositions are metal even though they don't have any metal instruments. And I also listen to like anything that like grooves, like in the sense that if it's groove metal, that's really cool. Like I could listen to that. If it's like funk, I'll listen to that. And I also I really enjoy Japanese music, like the Japanese style of composing that is in both J-rock and J-metal. You can see those jazz influences in the melodies and also the chord structures, and I really enjoy that, and I'm trying to incorporate it in Planeswalker as much as I can because they are very, very like evocative, like even moving, like you might be hearing a song from Galnerius or X Japan, anyone, and there's like a chord progression and you think it's going to go somewhere where any other Western band would take it, and then it goes to a place that is at the same time somewhat completely different but also makes complete sense if you are open to go with it. So yeah, that's like my favorite genres of music.
Jaime le preguntamos ya directamente qué otros estilos hace y le gusta el metal progresivo, le gusta el metal sinfónico, básicamente se mantiene eso, también le gusta el groove metal le gusta, pero lo más interesante que nos cuenta es que le gusta la música japonesa, no solo el metal japonés, y en el metal declara por ejemplo que cosas como Galnerius, como X Japan, que la gracia es que van en un viaje distinto a lo que hace la música del oeste. En el fondo hacen cambios que tienen mucho sentido y que tú, sobre todo si escuchas, te abres a escucharlo, tienen sentido musical, pero que jamás se le hubiera ocurrido una banda de este lado, de estos continentes. Entonces, eso le encanta la música japonesa.
Bueno, y también la música clásica, que como nos menciona, y que yo en verdad estoy bien de acuerdo, hay mucha música clásica que es muy metal, sin tener instrumentos de metal.
Instrumentos metaleros. Lo hemos hablado varias veces. Oye, último saludo y vamos a despedir, ya tenemos que ir despidiendo para que dé sus mensajes. El último saludo, Zona Melómana nos manda saludos, Adolfo Salinas agradece la respuesta. Eso, dale con la despedida, el cierre, invítalo a todo lo que tenemos que invitarlo.
Okay, so we're now closing the interview. Anything you want to tell your fans here in Chile or everywhere that's listening right now here?
So, I mean, first of all, thank you for watching the interview, and we are doing our best to come to you. It's not as easy as I would like, unfortunately, but we are working towards it. And also, thank you for giving a chance to myself and GLORYHAMMER with the new album. We've heard so many good things that it's honestly like overwhelming at times. We're very grateful for the reception. Yeah, I hope you continue enjoying GLORYHAMMER and Planeswalker and all the other projects I'm in. And yeah, thank you for having me to this lovely podcast.
Bueno, lo invitamos a la despedida, dice que básicamente va a intentar, está difícil, no sabe cuándo, pero que va a intentar estar en Chile con GLORYHAMMER dentro del próximo, no puede dar fechas porque todavía no tiene nada claro, pero le encantaría estar en Sudamérica. Agradece a toda la gente que nos está viendo, agradece la oportunidad de estar acá. Eso, Francisco, bueno, lo despedimos, invítalo a dile que la entrevista va a quedar en Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Spotify más adelante, y que muchas gracias por estar presente.
Okay, so thank you for your time, for being here. Remember that powermetal.cl is your home here. So if you ever need anything with GLORYHAMMER, with Planeswalker, you tell us and we'll be here for you.
Amazing.
So,
thank you so much, guys.
The interview will be on YouTube, Twitch, then on
Facebook.
Spotify, Facebook. So
Cool.
if you want to share it later, it will be there.
Of course.
Okay?
Sí, ya, tenemos que trabajar.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Eso, bueno, Francisco, ha sido una tremenda entrevista, bueno, la que hay arriba, la gente podrá verla. Gracias, Francisco, gracias a todos, perdón mis pacientes por tenerlo esperando. Que estén muy bien, nos vemos próximamente.
Denle like, suscribirse, Patreon,
y todo eso.
Todo
y tienen más entrevistas y el podcast vuelve en aproximadamente una semana y media, 2 semanas, así que atentos. Eso, cuídense, vamos con el cierre oficial desde ahora. Ya.